say on that?
We get a lot of questions on the website about skin types. What is my skin type and what do I use to treat my skin type? So, look, most people have mixed skin types when they're younger where they have a little oil in the T-zone, and then the rest of it is drier because the farther you get away from the middle of your face anyway, it's drier. The farther you get down on your body, it's drier. As you get older, your thyroid gets lower, and then your legs get drier, etc. That's why the hairs stop growing so much on your legs as you go down the path of life. So let's talk about dry skin, because I get a lot of people who have really dry skin. The number one cause of really dry skin is that your thyroid's low and your adrenal glands that sit on top of your kidneys are low, okay? So the first thing I usually do is I drill down on, number one, are you drinking enough water, okay? Because everybody should be drinking at least a liter of water a day, somewhere between a liter and 2 liters. And if you're exercising like crazy and you live in the desert and you're working outside, it's more like 2 to 3 liters a day, okay? So if you have a hard stool, you need more water. So number one, drink more water. Number two is eat more olive oil. Now, people who struggle with their weight, oil is oil, calories are calories, but there's good calories and there's bad calories. And oil is imperative for skin and joint and whole body health. And olive oil, good quality olive oil, is one of the most important things. And I tell people, if you can, at least 2 to 4 tablespoons per day. Whole ground flax meal, that's a different sort of oil, helps you go to the bathroom, and that will not lower your cholesterol. Olive oil will help lower your blood sugar and your cholesterol, but whole ground flax meal. So in the vein of dry skin, and also make sure you're eating right for your blood type, because if you're inflamed, dry skin comes from internal inflammation. If your thyroid's low, you're more inflamed. If you're inflamed from stress, emotional trauma, God help you, peace be with you. I wish I could help you, and I'm trying to help you with what to do to mitigate it. Take more antioxidants. Make sure your thyroid, your adrenals, you're eating right for your blood type, your gut's not inflamed. There's videos on gut inflammation. Make sure your gut's not inflamed. Make sure you don't have digestive symptoms, gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea. Get happier, whatever you have to do. Forgive, let go, and because those are the things that inflame you even more, okay? But if your skin's dry, number one, is your hair dry? If your hair's dry, then your thyroid is probably low, your adrenals are probably low as well, okay? And you'll notice it. If your hands are really dry, usually that's drinking water, the oil. That can also be thyroid and adrenals. If the skin on the lower part of your legs is dry, that's usually low adrenals, low thyroid. And so look on the website for the symptoms of low adrenals and thyroid and see if you've got a lot of those things. And there's a lot on there to treat. Omega-3 fish oils. My Omega Gold is the strongest one on the market. Basically, it helps treat that. Omegas help as well. Very important with your skin. And then look on your lower legs. If everything's all dry with your skin, despite everything, get some whole leaf organic aloe juice. Put it on there after you come out of the shower. Just let it dry. And then get some non-toxic body lotion like Desert Organics, Burt's Bees, any of those. Mix a little bit of olive oil in there with it. Coconut oil, if you will, it just doesn't absorb as well. So I always prefer a little bit of olive oil. If you can find some raw argan oil, it doesn't absorb as well. Tamanu oil doesn't absorb as well, and that's why I always go with the olive oil. But the best is my emu oil, okay? Emu and my emu dermal, which has the neodermal in there, which I've talked about previously, makes new collagen. The more you make new collagen and stimulate the skin to work more youthfully, the more those oil-producing glands go back to work, and it lifts and tightens, helps get rid of brown spots, etc. But emu, and this is the reason I use it and defend it passionately. Nothing. I have people who come to me who've tried everything on the market, and the only thing that cures their dry skin is emu oil. Penetrates more deeply. Mine is raw. It's handmade, okay? And so if there's such a thing as cold pressed and biodynamic, that's it. And it penetrates, it moisturizes, whether you've got horrible eczema or whether you've just got really dry skin. Emu, and it's better over time. More is better. Too much, you put it on your face and you'll get little whiteheads. So more is not better on your face. But if you have with bad eczema, itching, any of those sort of things, emu oil, okay? Very important. Now, the other thing is when your skin is dry, it's inflamed, okay? If you've got rosacea, your skin's inflamed, you need my serum, okay? If your skin's inflamed, you've got rosacea, you also need to use my wrinkle filler. I've done a thing about mixing serum, wrinkle filler, and emu dermal together. If you can afford it and your skin is dry, you should use my Cell Optimizer because it brings something to the table that nothing else does. But emu is the most important. Serum would be second. Third at night is night regeneration. It's ozonated, and that's why it's bubbly on the top when you open it up, and over time it still stays bubbly because of the way it's injected into there and the liposomal aspect of it. And then you've got to stimulate the skin. But emu's the most important thing. You've got to make it healthy inside because it's always about, and it's an internal cause, but you've got to treat it on the outside as well. Now, your skin is oily. You're inflamed, okay? Because your oil-producing glands, they don't just make oil because you're smitten by God with that, okay? They make oil because you're inflamed internally, and that turns on in some people oil-producing glands. And so make sure your gut is healthy. Make sure you don't have gas, bloating, constipation. Make sure you're eating right, or diarrhea. Make sure you're eating right for your blood type. Make sure you don't have hemorrhoids. Make sure you're eating right for your blood type. And if it's oily, you can be inflamed because your thyroid's low. Check on that, okay? If you're all stressed out, your adrenals can be low, and in some people you get oily. And why is that? Because it makes your adrenal glands make more DHEA, the hormone, and testosterone gets made more so, and it turns on the oil-producing glands more so. So acne, okay, often comes from increased oil, and some people have the acne gene, but some people get it because they're so inflamed or because their thyroid's low. So one of the most important things that I use for that is exfoliating repair, okay? Because overnight, it'll make your skin better. You use my serum because it's anti-inflammatory. You do not need any oil. Okay, my night regeneration, very anti-acne, very anti-oily skin. You could just use serum twice a day, okay? But then I would only use like 2 squirts, put a little water in there, do it twice a day, 2 pumps, 2 drops. But night regeneration, which feels like it has moisture in it, it doesn't. Very good for oily skin. Then ultimately you want to dry it up, okay? Exfoliating repair. And then you got to exfoliate oily skin, but you got to put out the inflammatory fire internally. So you got to find the cause for that. It's all over the website about gut inflammation and videos, etc. Making sure your thyroid is good, and exfoliating repair serum, calm and repair, because the zinc is really good for oily skin. And then you help dry up the skin some. With some people, you then have to go to using vitamin A plus, because retinols are always somewhat drying of oil. Okay, if your skin is healthy, it won't dry it, but it's still drying somewhat of oil. Vitamin C plus, ultimately. But what's most important is to start with serum. Exfoliating repair, you could just put exfoliating repair on at night if you have really oily skin, especially if it's acneic. Put it on every night. Follow the instructions about putting it on, and then let it dry and sleep in it, okay? And then ultimately, you add vitamin C plus is what I would often add first. It's somewhat drying because it's so strong. And so you mix that with the serum. So oily skin, you know why it's caused, you know what to do for it. Normal skin, you just start and advance skin products. And really with everybody, you start and advance skin products. When I formulated and studied and over the years learned what ingredients work, and then keep upgrading it on a regular basis. What normalizes your skin is, number one, getting healthy internally, and number two is just start and advance skin products. Everybody doesn't need EMU. Oily skin doesn't need EMU, but them oily skin advancing from exfoliating repair to use peel. Ultimately, sometimes you have to do more, and you do whole body renew. And then with dry skin or oily skin on your body, you should definitely be doing whole body renew, because it's exfoliating, it's injecting, it's basically infusing is really the word, because it's absorbing through your skin antioxidants, and it's exfoliating, and it's lightening the skin and helping to prevent that inflammation causing brown spots and growths that we all get as we go down the path of life. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much. And there'll be more.